Hi there. We have already discussed the various segments of the first chapter of a thesis. Let's now take one element at a time and expound on it with practical examples. In this video, let me explain on how to write the background to the study. Background to the study is the first paragraph of a thesis. In this part, you will make your claims and set the context. When you set the context, it makes your investigation more robust and logical. If you see the pattern in all exemplary theses, you will notice four parts in the background. In the first part, the researcher will set the context and explain the key terms. You can transport your reader from the known to the unknown if you clearly explain the key terms. Let's assume a researcher is working on a thesis on the effectiveness of neurolinguistic programming to reduce the speaking anxiety at tertiary level L2 classrooms. There are a lot of key concepts that need to be elaborated. For example, what is NLP? What does a researcher mean by speaking anxiety in the context of his study? What are the types of anxiety he is referring to? And so on. So, the second part of your background should state the historical developments. Chronologically articulate the developments to accentuate the progress in your field. Explain what is already known. Let us ponder on the same topic. Effectiveness of NLP to reduce speaking anxiety at tertiary level classrooms. Explain the pioneers of NLP. What is the history of NLP in the context of language teaching? So, chronologically document the growth of NLP and speaking anxiety in L2 classrooms. Thirdly, refer to the quintessence of seminal work in your area. Do a lot of preliminary work. Read voraciously, which will help you to identify the seminal studies and crystallize them. As the saying goes, you will be able to see the landscape better if you sit on the shoulders of the giants. So, what are the key debates in your field? What are the main arguments? How have earlier researchers approached NLP in the context of language teaching? So, but remember, the rule of the thumb is to not to comprehensively deal with the earlier studies or to critically appraise them. You will do that in the second chapter on review of literature. Eventually, you should arrive at the current situation and highlight the missing points that need to be addressed. So, our example was effectiveness of NLP to reduce speaking anxiety. To describe the current situation and expand on the missing link, you might say, although NLP is used in many walks of life, it has not been used in mainstream teaching. So, this topic merits further investigation. So, eventually, you will be focusing on the missing link in the background. So, in a nutshell, your background chapter should be quite robust and logical, and it should be quite timely and testable. Do not explicitly state that your research is robust. You may sound quite naive. Demonstrate that with examples. Let me repeat. Remember four key points when you write the background. Number one, explain the key terms. Number two, mention the historical developments chronologically. Number three, touch upon the main arguments in your field. And number four, describe the current situation and the missing link. I hope you found this segment on writing the background of a thesis useful.